지금부터 2019 이러닝 컨퍼런스 트랙C 3분과 새로운 기술에 의한 평생교육의 혁신 세션을 시작하도록 하겠습니다. 이번 세션은 미국의 드렉셀 온라인 대학교 수잔 알드리지 전 총장님께서 먼저 진행을 해주시고, 두 번째는 edX 인도 동남아시아 담당이신 인도의 아밋 고얄 비즈니스 수석 책임자님께서 2030 교육 당신의 미래는 준비됐습니까? 라는 주제로 발표를 해주시겠습니다. 이번 세션에 대해서 좀 미리 그 사전에 공부를 좀 하고 오신 분도 계실 것 같아요. 근데 굉장히 흥미로운 내용들이 많이 있더라고요. 그 4차 산업혁명 시대의 핵심 기술인 AR, VR, MR. 그 AR, VR을 합하면 또 MR이라고 하는 혼합 현실이 나오잖아요. 그리고 또 AI. 그다음에 그 유명한 또 머신러닝. 앞에서 했던 모든 내용들을 총망라하는 그런 모든 기술들이 나오는 것 같고요. 이런 기술들이 학교 그리고 일터 우리 생활 속에서 어떻게 활용되고 또 혁신하고 있는지 그 내용들을 한번 접해 보실 수 있을 것 같습니다. 네, 먼저 그 수잔 씨, 그 알드리지 전 총장님은 그 공공행정관리로 박사학위를 받으셨더라고요. 그리고 또 고등교육 분야에서는 세계적인 리더이시고요. 그다음에 성인을 위한 그 기술 강화 학습 분야에서 굉장히 좋은 비즈니스 모델로 또 성과를 많이 내신 분입니다. 그래서 세계적으로 아주 유명하신 분이고, 저도 꽤 오래 전부터 명성을 들어왔던 분이어서 오늘 뵙게 돼서 너무 반갑고요. 오늘 발표 주제는 Global Innovations in Technology Enhanced Lifelong Learning이라는 제목으로 해주실 텐데요. 우리 큰 박수로 마주해 주시면 감사하겠습니다.
안녕하세요. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us this afternoon on the second day of this session. Online learning has spanned over 20 years now. Our first priority in online learning was to expand access to populations of students around the world. We still have work to do. However, the online learning platform and model is the future. Today, we will discuss how new technologies improve the quality of online student learning. And further, we will discuss how companies are using new technologies and how our universities can become a student's academic partner for their life. New technologies and digital devices have proliferated regularly for the last 50 years, changing the way we live, work, and learn. Children may still play soccer in the park, but they are much more likely to play video games online. Students no longer need to travel to participate in a course or an internship when they can use the alternative of virtual presence. Thank you. Difficult and expensive experiments performed in laboratories can be performed just as easily in virtual laboratories. And within virtual worlds, these are just a few examples of how the technology has evolved and how it's enhancing our lives. Virtual reality, or VR, has been in the public imagination for a very long time. And augmented reality came into existence in the 1990s, but until Pokemon Go, many of us didn't know very much about it. However, augmented reality is rapidly being integrated across multiple businesses and educational contexts. So today, augmented and virtual reality are bridging connections in learning to the workplace and the community in ways that previously were unimaginable. So let's look at some of these connections. Online learning has created a platform for education for everyone from 4-year-olds who are learning a foreign language on an iPad through college and beyond to professionals who are returning to school to learn new knowledge. The global e-learning market will generate about $325 billion in annual revenue by 2025. As a former university president, I just retired a few weeks ago, so I now have more time to speak and to write about this space, so I'm quite happy about that. But I've spent 30 years in administrative positions as a university vice chancellor, a president, and then president of Drexel University Online. University administrators are burdened with campus facilities, increasing costs, maintaining dormitories for the students, and students have challenging lives and traffic and other barriers that get in the way of their schedules. So students today are asking for opportunities to mix and match their learning. They want to take some courses online, they want to take some courses face-to-face, and they want to adjust their learning styles based upon their personal lives. Our colleges and universities can no longer cater to just an exclusive subset of students or just one model, one location, one timetable, one start every semester. We're looking for more flexible approaches to our education, customized to meet the needs of the students, regardless of where they live and work and how they learn. And institutional quality is going to be measured by the learning outcomes of the students rather than by the assets acquired, the number of faculty, the books in the library, the amount of technology, and the number of new buildings on our campuses. The act of learning itself is no longer just a simple matter of information transfer, but it's a process of dynamic participation. And as online learning providers and professionals, we have a fantastic opportunity to make a significant difference on our campuses and in the global environment, in government, and also in industry. Students want to be actively engaged in their learning process through discovery and discussion, experimentation, and reflection. Now I'm going to be a little bit critical of some of the online courses that I've seen around the world. Every campus has centers of excellence, and every campus has some courses that need work. There are too many online courses that are read-only, chat-only, or talking head videos, and not enough feedback from the faculty for the students. We all have a few of those on our campuses, but if that's the format, we're really doing a disservice to the students because it's not how they learn, it's not how the research dictates to us how they learn. And second of all we've done with a talking head video is replace a lecture hall and put it on a very expensive LMS platform, right? So we really need to think about how to use the technology in innovative ways, and we'll talk a little bit about that today. So when we're looking at bridging connections, we have to take a look at the augmented and virtual reality market and its future. And I'll give you some website information a little bit later so you can actually go into the website and look at some of the videos and case studies that we're talking about. In the last 5 years, virtual reality users have grown from less than 1 million to more than 150 million users in virtual reality. And the market is just staggering at $54 billion in virtual reality just for the devices alone. And that doesn't include the applications. The augmented reality mobile applications amounted to $725 million worldwide. So these solutions allow humans to fully explore computer-generated worlds and computer graphics overlaid onto our immediate physical environment. These environments provide learning experiences that allow our students to practice in risk-free situations, in real-world training, and workplace experiences that are sometimes hazardous or sometimes critical, as in surgery. Augmented reality and virtual reality have transformed the way we teach medicine in our medical schools. Partnerships between academic institutions and businesses around AVR technologies are emerging, and the potential for workplace connections is tremendous. According to the 70-20-10 rule for how we learn, this is a rule that's often cited in leadership development training. 10% of what we learn comes from formal options, classrooms, courses. 20% comes from informal, peer-to-peer relationships from our parents, our friends, and colleagues. 70% of what we learn comes from hands-on experience. So as educators, we're looking for ways to create these hands-on, real-life scenarios for students to practice in our online classrooms or as enhancements to a face-to-face classroom. So today's students want to look for academic options that incorporate customized experiences designed to successfully transfer them from coursework to real work. So when we look at these connections, we have to take a brief look at these markets. Critics of virtual reality argue that it's expensive, it's difficult to use, there's some limitations of Oculus Rift, there are high costs of versions, but the proponents claim that there are inexpensive and user-friendly versions available for education. So let me show you just one. So many of I give about 50 keynote speeches a year, and the one question that's always asked is, how do you pay for this technology? We don't have any money. Well, I've never met a university administrator or professor that has said to me, we have more money than we can possibly spend. Everyone perceives that they don't have enough resources, right? But in this environment, virtual reality can take on new opportunities. So rather than initially, when Microsoft HoloLens came out, initially it cost about $2,000. These are $4. These are virtual reality glasses that clip to an iPhone, right? They just clip right on. They cost $4. So a student can download an app for free or low cost, depending on what you want for your class. They can clip these directly onto their iPhone and use their phone as the experience that they would have. So costs are really coming down. These are opportunities that we have. So sometimes the students will pay for them themselves if you offer them through the bookstore. We like to brand them and send them to the students along with a virtual tour of the campus so that they get used to the technology, and it makes them feel that they're part of a progressive university that really understands the world that they live in and that they expect when they come to school. And it collapses in a handy little case so the students can take it with them. So please don't think that everything costs too much, because a lot of things are free and available, and I'll talk a bit about those for you today. Corporations are using and governments are using these technologies to upskill and retool their employees. There have been some brilliant presentations at this conference about the rapid pace of knowledge change. And companies can't wait until the next batch of fresh graduates come out of our colleges. They have to be able to reskill and retool their current employees and look for graduates from our institutions as well. Jobs are moving to the knowledge sector. We've heard that through the last 2 days. Engineering programs are usually 5 years. Half of what engineering students learn the first year is obsolete by the time they graduate. Kind of depressing, isn't it? These engineers will move through about 10 jobs before the age of 40. They might have a number of promotions within the same company, but they'll have an average of 10 different jobs. Online learning allows the universities to change from just degree granting institutions and just research institutions to become an academic partner for life, where these students can come back to school, to their alma mater, to their university, and get additional certificates, get professional development, continuing education. So that requires that universities have a vision for what these students are going to need in the future so that we can be their preferred educational provider of choice for their future. The students want to be able to continue to upskill because it makes them more valuable to their companies. Who better than their university to provide these type of opportunities? So let me give you an example. If we're not teaching our students, we started with our online students, but we've been able to adapt it face-to-face. If we're not teaching our engineering students about drones, unmanned flight vehicles, if we don't teach them about drones, then they're not going to know what the real world is going to be like in the sites that they're going to work in. Drones are being utilized for surveying wetlands and forests. They're being used to survey stress fractures in bridges and to survey construction sites. So we're able to utilize our online platforms to teach the students how to use these technologies so that when they move from their coursework to their real life work, they have a clear understanding of the expectations and the technology that they're going to be expected to use. I'll give you some examples in a few minutes about some of the ways in which corporations are using the technology, but I want to spend a few minutes talking about how technology is changing the way we live, learn, and work. Colleges and universities are making investments in high-impact digital learning enhancements, such as virtual reality. Some of our universities are actually launching bachelor's degree programs. At Drexel, we recently launched a bachelor's degree in virtual reality and immersive media. I love these programs because for me, what it meant is that they're professors that are going to be looking for projects for their students to do, and we were able to provide a list of assignments and simulations and virtual reality that we wanted the students to design for us to incorporate into our online courses. It's a win-win strategy for us because the students are then able to take these projects and they're able to build their portfolio of projects so that when they graduate, they come out with experience and we get the benefit of the talent for the students and the supervision of the professor to enhance our online courses. It's a fantastic model. So these technologies don't need to be cost prohibitive. YouTube, for example, has hundreds of thousands of videos that are available online that can be added into the classroom. If you're looking for a virtual reality, you just type in whatever video you're looking for and add VR to it to see if there's a virtual reality option that's available for that YouTube. Those can be used as links in the courses, whether it's face-to-face or online. There are many new ways. Microsoft came out with HoloLens about 5 years ago. HoloLens 2 is just now coming out. It's much more user-friendly than the previous version. But these companies are looking for colleges and universities to help them test and pilot new options for these technologies. So for example, when HoloLens first came out, Microsoft had $1 million request for proposal from universities, and they don't just want US universities or just British universities. They're looking for diverse universities around the world to apply for grants to partner with them to explore new ways to use this technology because then they use that to sell to other institutions. So my suggestion is that you find these companies that are producing new technology and you contribute your intellectual capital to the discussion. It's fantastic for your colleges and universities, fantastic for the students and for the faculty, and for the companies that are using the products as well. And plus, you can usually negotiate some special rates for a period of a couple of years. Let me give you a couple of other examples. NVIDIA's Drive AR platform for cars is powered by machine learning. It uses a dashboard-mounted display, overlaying graphics on camera footage from around the car. So it points out everything from hazards that might be in the way to special historic landmarks along the way. Car manufacturers like Mercedes-Benz, Audi, Tesla, Toyota, Volvo are all on board using this technology. So these new technologies are coming our way, and they're being tested now. Likewise, Alibaba-backed startup Weiwei in projects that project the data directly onto the car windshield, giving navigation prompts, right-of-way information, lane identification, and hazard detection. These are available now, so they're interesting to test. And usually educational institutions get a special price break in order to be able to test these technologies in the classroom and for the students. And Magic Leap 1 is a head-mounted virtual retinal display that superimposes 3D generated imagery over real-world objects. So again, online learning isn't just read-only, chat-only, talking head videos from professors. It's the opportunity to create literally global access to knowledge using various technologies that let the students experiment, engage with the content. What are the pillars in this stool that are critical for students to learn online? The research tells us, when we've studied how students learn online, is that they must engage with the content. And I don't just mean read, I mean engage with the content and apply the knowledge. They must engage with other students in the class and also with the professor in the class. They need feedback, and they value the feedback that they receive, and it also enhances the learning process for them. The manufacturers, again, are looking for partners for institutions. Case Western has done, and the Cleveland Clinic have done some fantastic models for medical technology using the Microsoft HoloLens 1, and we can't wait to see what they're doing second. Simulations, gaming, augmented and virtual reality empower any number of safely immersive visual learning environments that feel and respond very much like real life environments as students engage and explore and interact with and manipulate objects in these worlds. So imagine teleporting students to reenact historic battles, explore outer space, travel the inner workings of a human body. Using sophisticated controls, they can practice complex procedures like cardiac surgery or master difficult concepts such as molecular properties of brain cells. At Drexel, we created a virtual crime scene with feedback for the students. These students are going to be forensic nurses. So we created a crime scene for the students that would give them feedback every step of the way. Because in crime scene and forensic investigations, if you make a mistake in the assessment of a crime scene, you literally can prevent the investigators from determining who the perpetrator was in the crime. So a real crime scene was used, a real crime was used. The students go through the crime scene, and at any point as they're going through the house in this situation, if they miss a clue or move past something like whether the front door was locked or unlocked. If the front door was unlocked, maybe they knew the person that came into the home. Was the electric alarm set or not? Was there a dog in the backyard that was barking or not? All of these things are typical of crime scenes, but the students can't just learn these in an online environment by reading about them or having somebody talk to them. They need to go through the environment. And so what we did was create pop-ups for them. If they made a mistake, it would stop them from going any further. And the pop-ups would tell them the ramifications of the mistake that they just made and make them go back and start again. So we're able to create these kinds of formats for the students in real-world situations where working professionals come back to school to learn how to use these technologies and to promote themselves in their own careers. But we're also able as a university to market our university as an advanced university that can provide these opportunities for the students. So we have a whole new meaning of the word field trip in these types of environments. So again, I talked a little bit about Case Western Reserve and the Cleveland Clinic. I'll give you the sites for these in a few minutes so you can see the case studies and the videos with them as well. The Case Western Reserve University and the gentleman at the top is actually using HoloLens and is looking at the body so that they can see various aspects of the anatomy and physiology working together. Medical, dental, and nursing students are reinventing the future of medical education because in the past, medical students would work on cadavers, or dead bodies or plastic bodies, not ideal, and they didn't have the opportunity to really look at all the systems functioning at the same time unless they were working with a real body. Well, when you're a student, you don't have as many opportunities to do that. Now with HoloLens and other types of virtual reality, we're able for the students to travel in the body, to look at all the systems that are functioning and working, to be able to zero in on one particular aspect. And it's really revolutionized the way that these students can experience their education. So how do we get our professors to utilize this training? We took the technology to the physician professors, and they were all around the table in their white coats, and we had them utilize the technology so they could see it and work with it and understand how it could revolutionize their education. Because believe it or not, the medical students oftentimes would prefer to listen to lectures rather than go and sit in a classroom. So we were able to actually give them opportunities to practice as well as revolutionize their classroom. So it wasn't just videos as well. So in looking at ways for improving academic performance, Temasek Polytechnic in Singapore has used virtual reality in their aerospace engineering program. They're improving student attention. They're reducing equipment costs by creating much more access for the students to learn because they're not limited to one space for the students to learn. And they partnered with a company called EON, E-O-N, EON Reality. I'll talk a bit about them again later. They've had some fantastic work on solar systems and other things. But Temasek is using them to learn also a virtual reality gas turbine engine about the fundamentals of operations. So instructors and students have the freedom to access these simulations from any place, anytime, and it's just another example of how online learning really helps transform the whole engagement process. Tallinn University is in Estonia. They have organized what they call Smart Systems of Tomorrow with the goal of deepening the integration of ICT and electronics. Really a terrific school. If you don't know, if you haven't looked at them, you might want to look them up. And there's another group that's very innovative called VR First. It's a global program designed to enable creators, companies, educators, and governments that are interested in exploring the power and potential of immersive technologies. So what they have done is grown and created access to nearly 800 academic networks worldwide, 52 AVR lab projects, and 50 VR First labs, and nearly 5,000 AVR developers. Imagine the power of all of these individuals working together in order to be able to expand the availability and the research and the application of augmented and virtual reality. Really extraordinary. There's some other AVR projects that you might be interested in that are being applied to different types of therapies. The University of Hamburg in Germany created a software called Excavine. This is a motion play in virtual reality, and it's used as therapy for assessing neurological diseases. The University of Cork in the UK is using virtual reality for raising awareness about cancer in men. And Oklahoma State University in the US is using a mixed reality lab, and they're studying mild memory loss. We haven't even touched the surface in terms of how these technologies can transform rehabilitation therapies. We've utilized virtual reality with physical therapy, because if you can create a gaming concept for, let's take children, rather than take them 5 days a week to physical therapy, maybe they can go 2 or 3 days, but we can create special gaming and virtual reality that allows us to create range of motion and exercises tailored specifically to them so they can do them at home. And guess what? They're much more likely to do the exercises because they're fun and interesting and tailored to them. I want you to write down this website. It's called, you can go to www.virtuallyinspired.org. For 3 years, we researched innovations in online learning and innovations in how technology is being used in online learning around the world. We created case studies for each of these technologies, and so you will be able to see the case western, see actually how it works, see the video clips of how these work, with links directly to the site, and a case study that describes what these technologies are like. We created this site initially for our faculty because if the faculty can't see how these work, these technologies work, it becomes a foreign concept for them. And they're busy. They don't have time to do the research. So we did the research for them. So this is a free, open source site. You can use the categories and search the categories for gaming, simulations, robotics, holography, virtual reality, augmented reality, artificial intelligence, and others. So if you just want to search a certain technology, you can search for that, and there'll be some case studies that are there. All of your universities have innovation. So if you want to make a recommendation to contribute your idea of an innovation to this site, you're welcome to do that as well. It's meant to build and grow over time. Also, there are 2 papers on this site that you can download also for free that you might be interested in. One is called the Online Classroom of the Future. It's meant to blow your mind about how technology will be used in the future. I think you'll find it interesting. I hope you'll take a look. Give me some feedback on it. The second one is called Digital Ecosystems. And you can just go in the site and click on the paper and download them. You can share them with your students, use them in your classes. They're open, free, and available. The third one that will be up probably this week is called Educating the Next Generation Workforce. So these examples of how corporations are utilizing technology in their companies and how we as educators need to start preparing our students for this work environment, those will be in that third paper that will be up probably sometime in the next week. So if it's not there today, I looked this morning, it's not up yet, but it might be up sometime in the next week. There have been so many different educational applications that have come on the market that have been designed around augmented and virtual reality, and many are available at low cost or available for free. There are many that are in science and health education, but there are others that are targeted to history and language learning. Let me just give you a couple of examples. AnatoMU is an app that enables advanced students to take a non-invasive tour through the body and to learn about the various systems. InMind is a gamified journey through the human brain. The Body VR traverses the bloodstream. Titans of Space Hosts is a guided and breathtakingly realistic tour of the solar system. By harnessing the power of AVR, history and art instructors really have a wealth of options that are available now for conducting virtual tours of just about every historic place in the world. Eon Reality, again, I mentioned them earlier. They created an audio-narrated 360-degree tour of the tomb of the Egyptian pharaoh, King Tutankhamun. You might want to check that one out. They've done some fantastic work with NASA on the solar system as well. Mondly, that's M-O-N-D-L-Y, is a Romanian edtech company that has developed a freemium language learning platform that includes a website and apps for free, and they have some paid courses in 33 languages. The company also offers lessons in virtual and augmented reality. So how do our faculty access these resources? We realized that faculty were a bit intimidated by some of the technology, but they're busy. They don't have time to do the research of what's available. So we decided to make it easy for them. Face-to-face students, or face-to-face faculty, online faculty. So we created the first repository of its kind in the country called vArtifacts Plus. It's kind of a play on virtual reality and virtual artifacts. It's a repository of 500,000 artifacts. It's free, all open source, available for the faculty. It has 360-degree panoramas. It has gaming, simulations, virtual reality, 3D learning objects, and it's very simple to use. A faculty member can search the database by subject. They can see all the different types of artifacts that are available for potential use in their course. They can, and there are a couple of little icons on it. There'll be a pair of eyeglasses if they want to look and look at it. And if they want to click another icon, they can drop it into their class immediately. That simple. So we made it very, very simple. What the faculty like the most is that they don't have to get permission because all 500,000 of these artifacts are open source. So they can utilize them. So we've tried to find ways to encourage the faculty. You can see a video of this site on the virtually inspired site, so you can take a look at it there. The company that helped us design this site is called 3, it's the number 3 Dream, D-R-E-A-M, Studios, and they're based in Oklahoma. So not only is education finding great value in implementing these technologies, but we're seeing tremendous changes and connections in the workplace. In fact, it's becoming increasingly apparent that we're adopting these technologies at a faster rate in government and in companies than we are on our university campuses. If we want our university campuses to be a student's educational partner for life, we have to have that vision and create the opportunity so we have the knowledge that they want to come back in order to obtain. According to the World Economic Forum, by 2022, 54% of all employees will require significant reskilling or upskilling. So not only do we need to make sure that our current graduates are prepared for the workforce of the future, but companies can't get enough talent in some of these areas. They have to reskill and retool. Who better than the universities to provide that type of partnering opportunity for them? So let me give you just a couple of examples. virtual disaster preparedness. You know, we're all watching what is happening in the Bahamas. It's such a difficult situation. But there are opportunities through virtual reality to practice and simulate emergency preparedness for natural disasters. Aviation maintenance trainers, airport security and safety training, and on and on. So now all of these technologies can be incorporated into our online courses, but they can be used as assignments, or they can be used as links. I'm not going to go through all of these, but look at all of the industries that are utilizing these new technologies. There's a site, just screwed this up. Can you go to the next to the last one? The Augie Awards are, let me go to, I did it again, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, this next one. Oh, it's the Augie Awards. We are first. Yep. So the Augie Awards are awards that are given to corporations, to universities who have used virtual reality. So look at all of the different types of projects that were submitted. Over 100 projects from 39 countries were submitted this last year. And making the finalist was a virtual reality flight simulator for surgery. Again, this included 3 companies, 2 teaching hospitals, 2 universities, 2 in London, 1 in the US. And this is allowing the expansion of surgeons and surgical practices for surgeons around the world so that we can democratize surgical training around the world. These technologies are outstanding examples. I think this is the most exciting time in online learning for us. It means we have to embrace change. It means that we have to embrace new opportunities for our students and try and test these opportunities. Online learning and technology-enhanced learning are more important to our universities, our governments and businesses, and our future than ever before. And given the changes in knowledge, we collectively hold the key to lifelong learning. Thank you so much for the honor of speaking with you today. 감사합니다.
다시 한번 수잔 알드리지 전 총장님께 감사의 박수 부탁드립니다. 감사합니다. 땡큐. 다음은 아밋 고얄 수석 책임자님께서 발표를 이어가실 텐데요. 발표 전에 제가 보니까 모바일 Q&A에 아직 질문이 하나도 올라와 있지 않더라고요. 그래서 혹시 질문이 다 듣고 나서 올리실 거라고 예상은 하는데요. 프로그램북 26페이지 보시면 라이브온 안에 Q&A 어떻게 올리시는지 방법이 나와 있으니까 참고하셔서 질문을 올려주시면 감사하겠습니다. 아밋 고얄 수석님 제가 잠깐 소개를 드리면요. 현재 인도와 동남아시아에서 edX를 이끌고 계시고 edX는 아시다시피 MOOC 중에 넘버 3 안에 들잖아요. 앞선 세션에서 SK 부장님이 오셔서 SK는 코세라를 쓴다고 하셨잖아요. 근데 코세라가 거의 1위라고 보지만 코세라 같은 경우는 스탠퍼드 대학의 교수진이 설립한 거고, 그 다음에 edX 같은 경우는 MIT 하버드 대학 교수진이 설립한 거고, 그래서 거의 쌍벽을 이루는 굉장히 규모가 큰 그런 온라인 비영리 포털 학습 사이트라고 보실 수가 있고요. 아밋 고얄 수석님은 그리고 또 한 가지 좀 특이점이 삼성 인도 교육 솔루션 사업 책임자도 맡으셨었더라고요. 그래서 한국 관련돼서는 좀 관련이 있으신 것 같고요. 오늘 발표 주제는 2030 교육 당신의 미래는 준비됐습니까? 입니다. 큰 박수로 연사님 환영해 주시기 바랍니다.
Good afternoon, everyone. I tried really hard learning how to say hello
or hi in local language. I just learned a few seconds ago. Pardon me if I do it wrong. Anyan haseo. Close. Okay. So, how many of you here understand basic English? Please raise your hand. Basic English? Okay, that's fine. We'll improve. I have something for you. So today I will be talking about future of work and learning. We have been looking at how artificial intelligence is around us. There have been numerous sci-fi movies on how robots are going to take away or take over our planet. I was recently listening to Susan, and she also mentioned that in the next 3 to 4 years, we will require a planet-sized reskilling effort. So there have been numerous studies which actually say this is an era of artificial intelligence and machine learning. The speed at which business and technology is changing today is at least 20 times faster than what it was in last 20 years. Now, in order to catch up with the technology at such changing speed, we need to really upskill ourselves. When we talk about artificial intelligence, people think it's very scientific. People think it's next level. But we don't realize that the basic things that we do today are a part of artificial intelligence and machine learning. A basic Google search is basically artificial intelligence. Google Maps is artificial intelligence and machine learning. So machine learning and AI are becoming a part of our daily lives. In the next 3 to 4 years, it will be a part of our life that we have never imagined before. I actually wanted to play a quick video of a Google Assistant. It's in English, but I'll try if you are able to get some sense of it. Could you play the video, please? The first one.
Hi, I'm calling to book a women's haircut for a client. I'm looking for something on May 3rd.
Progress with the assistant. It turns out, as I said earlier, a big part of getting things done is making a phone call. We think AI can help with this problem. Let's say you want to ask Google to make you a haircut appointment on Tuesday between 10 and noon. What happens is the Google Assistant makes the call seamlessly in the background for you. So what you're going to hear is the Google Assistant actually calling a real salon to schedule the appointment for you. Let's listen.
How can I help you? Hi, I'm calling to book a women's haircut for a client. I'm looking for something on May 3rd.
Sure, give me 1 second. Sure, what time are you looking for around?
At 12 p.m.
We do not have a 12 p.m. available. The closest we have to that is a 1:15.
She doesn't know that she's talking to a robot here.
And 12 p.m.
Depending on what service she would like. What service is she looking for?
Just a woman's haircut for now.
Okay, we have a 10 o'clock.
10 a.m. is fine.
Okay, what's her first name?
The first name is Lisa.
Okay, perfect. So I will see Lisa at 10 o'clock on May 3rd.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Great. Have a great day. Bye.
There's more.
That was a real call you just heard. The amazing thing is the assistant can actually understand the nuances of conversation. We've been working on this technology for many years. It's called Google Duplex. It brings together all our investments over the years in natural language understanding, deep learning, text-to-speech. By the way, when we are done, the assistant can give you a confirmation notification saying your appointment has been taken care of. Let me give you another example. Let's say you want to call a restaurant, but maybe it's a small restaurant which is not easily available to book online. The call actually goes a bit differently than expected. So take a listen.
See how may I help you?
Hi, I'd like to reserve a table for Wednesday the 7th.
For 7 people?
It's for 4 people.
For people when
Next
tonight?
Wednesday at 6 p.m.
Oh, actually we reserve for like upper like 5 people. For people you can come.
How long is the wait usually to be seated?
For when tomorrow or weekday or?
For next Wednesday, the 7th.
Oh no, it's not too busy. You can come for 4 people, okay?
Oh, I gotcha. Thanks.
Bye bye.
Can you stop it? And come back to the slide. Perfect. So what you saw was a phone call between a machine and a human. So this actually tells you something about the glimpse of the future. We have been trying to move away the very mundane jobs, and you can see that a local voice assistant, which is there on your phone, has tremendous capabilities to replace so many of the tasks that we are currently doing today. First and foremost, being your executive assistant. When we look at these futuristic technologies, we still feel, nah, it's not going to come back to us. We still have plenty of years to survive on the skill sets that we have. Or some countries, especially the developing ones like India, China, they feel that the labor is too cheap in those countries, so they need not be worried about machines and automations, but this is not the case anymore. In fact, last year, I was passing through Europe, and this is a pretty common sight at most of the McDonald's that we see today. It wasn't a common sight about a year ago, wherein most of the kiosks are actually, most of the front-facing human staff at McDonald's is completely replaced by the machines. And in the next few years coming ahead, the front-facing staff might be gone entirely. Now, we might think that because the salaries of people who are at these counters, especially in developed countries, is very high. That's why it makes sense for businesses to deploy those machines. But this is not really the case. Machines gives you better service, more accurate results. They're very predictable, and they give you a quality assurance. This is one of the reasons why Foxconn actually replaced about 60,000 factory workers in China who were not even getting $5 a day. They spent considerable amount of money and resources in creating robots. There is no direct impact of returns on investment, but it's about the quality and the future longevity that they will be able to get through this. Now, this picture is actually scary. Everyone around us is telling us, hey, you have got 5 years, 10 years. Robots are going to come and take away your jobs. How can you imagine, if you have a boss who is a robot in 10 years, do you think that is possible? Any idea? Well, actually very much, because numerous reports, they actually tell that 50% of the jobs that exist today will not be there by 2030. Doesn't mean they'll go away. They'll transform. They'll significantly transform. They will just not look like the work that you're doing today. So do you think the universities or the current education system is actually equipping us to cope up with the ever-changing world? But then the work has always changed, right? Everyone tries to scare you by saying, hey, machines are coming, robots are coming, you need to upskill and all that stuff. But there are some natural human tendencies. For example, earlier, do you remember those large, hefty monitors? They were replaced by LCDs. Those LCDs were then replaced by LEDs. And then you have touch. So input, output, everything around us is changing. Someone who used to repair those bulky machines has actually learned to work on those tiny, sleek PCs, those tiny, sleek devices and touchscreens. So the work has changed in past. The work is going to change in future. The only difference is the speed at which the businesses, the technology is changing is going to be 20 times more faster than what has happened in the last 2 decades. So what is it that we need to do? We need to really keep up the pace. Some more examples. How many of us use Uber here? Or a local taxi? Well, actually, yeah, you could understand Uber, but what I saw is everyone here, if I have to book a taxi, everyone simply books a taxi by an app, right? I was in Shenzhen, and in Shenzhen, I literally saw a beggar holding a WeChat icon in his WeChat badge in his neck to receive the donations. And I was pleasantly surprised to look at the way technology is changing. Theaters, entertainment is being revolutionized by on-demand entertainment like Netflix. For hotels, we have Airbnb, Oyo. So everyone today is able to become a hotelier. Things are changing at a very high speed. These technologies, these things were unimaginable 10 years ago. But look where we currently stand today. I can't really, go even a single day without using Uber. But what is happening to education, right? This is how our classrooms used to look 60, 70 years ago. And unfortunately, most of the classrooms that we see today, they still look pretty much the same. Professor will come into the class, they'll teach, students will listen, some of them will just sleep. Professor will try to explain 100%, students will retain less than 50%. They would not be able to apply this. But does that mean revolution is not happening in education? As Susan mentioned, there is plenty of education technology revolving around AI, ML, AR, VR. All of these things have been there. Look at hackathons, capstone projects. So these things are becoming a part of the daily lives. So what colleges and policy makers need to do is to inculcate everything and make sure that learning, education, that is also revolutionized. What is happening with education today when you go to a normal university? Can we ask a question in the local language? What is the average duration of a bachelor's degree? Duration, how many years? How many years do you have to study for a bachelor's degree? 3 years? 4 years? 4 years. That's right. 4 years for a bachelor's degree, 2 years, 1 to 2 years for a master's degree. But do you think, and in most of the countries, education is highly regulated. What you have to study for the next 4 years is decided in advance by the regulatory bodies. The technology that you see today, by the time you will graduate, dinosaurs are going to take it away, right? So there is no way that learning will be relevant. The problem with education system, and while we come from the mecca of education, it's ironical to say that, but it's true. Education today is very expensive. While technology is moving very fast, in a classroom, scalability is always an issue. In a classroom, about 60, 70, 80 students or 100 maximum can study at a time. But the size of learning that we need today is massive. And it's highly bundled. For the last, I would say, half a century, we have been offering graduation degrees, which are 3 to 4 years. Master's degree, which are 1 to 2 years. No one has really questioned why. Because everything is changing dynamically. Why haven't we caught up? Education for tomorrow is going to be different. This is the need of the hour. Today, for example, if you're getting bored by my video, you will actually play a YouTube on your phone and you will start listening to it. You can get everything in demand and on demand. You can learn whatever you want. You can entertain yourself the way you want, at your own pace, at your own convenience, whenever, wherever you want. The same thing is happening with education as well. Today, we need education which is in demand, on demand, modular. Whether I take it on my laptop, whether I sit in the classroom, or if I'm commuting, I can take it on my mobile. It has to be ubiquitous. So in order to present this, what the top universities of the world have done. So I represent edX, which is a joint venture of MIT and Harvard University. We at edX are all MIT employees, including me. So about 6 years ago, MIT decided that they want to revolutionize the way we learn. They want to democratize higher education. So they created an online portal called edX. What we do on edX? It's a website, edx.org. You can just go to this website. What we have done is we have partnered with 140 of the top-ranking universities and professional bodies. For example, Oxford, Berkeley, Columbia, Harvard, which is the top university in Korea? Seoul National University is the top university in Korea, okay? Now, is it difficult to get admission into Seoul? Is it difficult to study in Seoul National University? Admissions are very difficult, okay? Now, what if I tell you, whatever you want to learn from Seoul National University is available absolutely free, whenever, wherever you want. All you need to do, go to the platform. Seoul National University is an edX member. They have a variety of courses available on this platform, absolutely free. We cover all the in-demand skills and technologies, ranging from futuristic skills like artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data, data science, Internet of Things, business management, design thinking, communication skills. If you want to learn how to speak English, there are plenty of courses which will teach you how to speak English, how to communicate in English, business writing, everything from scratch. As he mentioned, we have been working with a number of universities. I should have added Seoul National University here, but trust me, it is there. So you go to the platform, you'll be able to find courses from Seoul National University, absolutely free. This is how, and you can see, for example, Oxford University. Who among us hasn't heard of it? I'm an alumni. What unique that you see here is whatever you want to learn, go to the website, write it out. A course will be available from a top university of the world. And what's unique is the price, as you see, free. So doors of all the top institutes of the world are open for you. You don't have to worry about the eligibility criteria, admission criteria, the fee that you're going to pay. As long as you have the desire to learn, courses are available. How we sustain ourselves? If you want to show a proof of your learning, what you have learned to your employers or in your CV or to anyone, you can go for a certificate track. And there is a small amount of fee that you have to pay for it. It's about $49. It'll come up to be, what, about 60,000 your currency. Now, online learning has been there since, what, late 90s? And what's happening when we talk about online learning is people think there will be pre-recorded video lectures, professors are simply teaching in the class, they have recorded a video of their own, and they have put it online. But this is not really how online learning works. The audience in online learning is absolutely different. The way students and professors interact in an online class is absolutely different. So what we deploy on edX is an active learning pedagogy. Can you tell me, if you're watching an educational video, what is going to be your attention span? What I meant to ask is, after how many minutes of watching an educational video will your attention span decrease? What should be the ideal duration of an educational video? Any guesses? Really short? 6 minutes? Susan? 4 minutes? Others? 10 minutes? Great. So what we did, in order to find it out, we literally put EEG machines on students' mind and see what they're saying. What we realized is the average duration of an edX of a video should not be over 7 minutes. Sorry, it's okay. I need to go back. Yeah, so average duration of an academic video should not be over 7 minutes. After 7 minutes, your attention span will decrease. I hope your attention span is not decreasing right now because I'm trying to keep it more interactive. And this is where we use the active learning pedagogy. So you watch a video, you interact with the content. It's not just a dumb video which is playing. After watching the video, the system makes sure that you are active throughout the class. It'll be done using online assessment, multiple choice questionnaires, or an online lab. Now, one of the questions that people say, hey, online education is good. But you know, in classroom learning, I can always ask a doubt from a professor. How will I ask it in an online learning environment? See, in reality, when a professor is teaching in a class, students don't really raise their hands in the middle of a lecture and clear their queries. They will write it down somewhere and ask it later, most likely from their peers, which is social learning element. The same social learning element we have embedded onto this platform. So while you're taking a course, you have any question, any query, go to the discussion forums that you can see on the top. You see discussions, which is the third item there. Any query that you have, just put it out there, and hundreds and thousands of learners around the world who are taking the same course will reply to your query. The average response time that we see is 7 minutes. Upon successful completion of a course, you get a certificate of completion from the university. So this one is from Oxford University, has your name, course name, a unique ID at the bottom, the professor's digital signature. So this is the real academic value. We were talking about big data plus neuroscience, wherein how we find what is the average duration of a video. We figure it's 7 minutes. Now this is the state of mind of active learners. If you're just watching a video, this is how active your mind is going to be. You see those blue lines here? These blue lines reflect the active state of your mind. If you're engaging, if you're having discussions while watching a video, these blue lines show you the active states of your mind. If you're truly using active learning, which is video, 7 minutes, 8 minutes long, plus assessments, plus discussion forums. Thank you for pointing that out. Yeah. So I'll take a very quick recap. What I was saying is, if you're just watching a video, these blue lines actually tell you the active state of your mind. If you're taking discussions while watching a video, these blue lines here, that tells you how active your mind is. If you're doing active learning, which is interpolated testing, plus videos, plus discussion forums, see the active state of mind. See the huge contrast. Mostly in our classes, we have the first one. In online learning, especially if it is meticulously planned and designed and executed, this is the ideal outcome. For professors, there are plenty of resources. They can actually see how many videos have a particular replay at a given point of time. When a professor is teaching in the class, they don't really know how much you are understanding. Professors usually think what they are teaching is right. Students will understand it sooner or later. But using this technology, professors can actually see if there are too many replays at a particular point. If there are, then they can actually change the system. Instead of teaching you the same concept by video, they may do A/B testing. They may put in a case study. They may put in a discussion forum to explain the same concept in a different manner, which is otherwise not possible in a brick and mortar classroom. So what we have done is, it's not just hypothetical assumptions that we have been using over here. In the span of last 7 years, we have actually reached about 22 million learners from every country on this planet. We have 140 plus top ranking universities who have become a member. In Korea, we have Seoul National University, who is a proud member of edX. As I said, 22 million active learners, happy learners. It feels really good when you meet them and they tell them how edX courses have actually changed their lives for good. Now, when we talk about education, education should actually be democratized, right? Everyone in the world, doesn't matter what their socio-economic status is, doesn't matter what other limitations, learning limitations or special needs do they have, they should be able to access it. One such example is a learner from India, unfortunately a blind guy, wanted to learn Python, went to edX platform using special devices, completed a course from MIT with about 95, 96% marks, today working with a large software development company. So this is the accessibility, this is the democratization, this is the empowerment that our platform provides. edX is one of the most accessible platforms of the world. Now, we have spoken about a lot of things. 3 key takeaways that I would want you to take from here is, in future, education is going to be modular. It's like Legos. You can, create your own education. It is going to be omni-channel. You will not just study at school or campuses. You would be able to learn from wherever, whenever you want. And it's going to be lifelong. Education doesn't really stop at college. The learning starts after college. When we talk about modular education, what we have done is we have launched a program called MicroMasters. Now, what's a MicroMasters? For example, if somebody wants to learn artificial intelligence from scratch, he has no previous knowledge about artificial intelligence, what they can do, go to edX platform, take a MicroMasters, which is equal to 1 semester of a master's degree. So you told me a master's degree is about 2 years, right? What you can do is take 1 semester of it online. No eligibility criteria. Go ahead, enroll. If you want to learn, learn for free. If you enroll on a certificate track, you get a MicroMasters. The benefit of this MicroMasters is you get complete skill set and subject matter expertise for anything that you're learning. Not only that, tomorrow, if you go and apply to Columbia University for their own campus master's degree, Columbia University is going to give you 25% credits required to complete a master's degree on campus, which means if you're a student currently doing a bachelor's degree, or if you have a bachelor's degree, you want to do a master's degree, you could complete a MicroMasters first, see if that interests you. If that interests you, you can then apply to the university. You will get preferential admission. Some eligibility criteria might be waived off. And if you're accepted, your tuition fee will be reduced by 25%. Your on-campus time will be reduced by 25%. So we are actually unbundling education. Why do you actually have to get into a master's degree and then see, is it the right fit for you or not? It's getting modular. You can stack it. You can take one course. If you like it, take semester. If you like the semester, take a fully online master's degree. We have a fully online master's degree from one of the top 10 universities in data science around the world, from Georgia Tech, for under $10,000 US. What we also see is not just hard skills. For example, today everything is about artificial intelligence, machine learning, AI, and all those heavy words. We have a corporate advisory board, which comprises of chief learning officers of all the big companies, about 25, 30 top companies in the world in every industry. Like Samsung is there, Google, Microsoft, IBM, Huawei. When we ask them, what is the key skill that you want to look in your workforce? We were actually surprised. We thought they will say robotics, data science. But the number one skill that they want to see in their people is soft skills, emotional intelligence, communication skills. So soft skills is actually a misnomer. It is actually one of the most crucial hard skill that one requires. When we talk about MicroMasters, what we have actually seen is 91% of the learners who have taken the MicroMasters actually reported, a positive career outcome. 78% reported a career advancement. We have also launched fully online master's degree. We have been talking about omni-channel education. So if you want to learn at Seoul National University, go ahead, feel free to apply for their own campus bachelor's or master's degree. But if you also want to get a taste of their education, you can do the same online on edX, wherein all those courses are available. So moving forward, just like what has happened to retail, now, if you want to buy anything, you won't just go to a showroom and buy it. Maybe you will compare the prices online, look at multiple sources, and then buy. Same thing is happening with education. It is scattering through multiple platforms. Some universities, what they're doing is, in their graduate level courses, they're actually adding a MicroMasters as a part of their curriculum. So students, when they're taking a bachelor's of science or engineering degree, they also get a part of their master's degree simultaneously. And I couldn't emphasize more on the requirement of lifelong learning. One of the purposes that I've had here while coming is most of the corporates that you may think of, all the leading ones, including Hyundai, LG, Samsung, IBM, GE, Accenture, all the big banks, who have hundreds and thousands of employees who had taken a formal education many years ago. They do not have time to go back to the campuses, online education solves a very key requirement for them. So they are taking lifelong learning with us. And this is the key, and Susan also emphasized on it, that about by 2020, about 54% of the workforce will require a planet-sized reskilling effort. They cannot afford to go back to their classes. So online learning will come to their resort. So what we see is, it's not just academic in nature. As I was telling you, we want to make sure whatever we teach is actually relevant to the workforce, is relevant to the skills that you will require in future. So every course on edX, every program on edX is actually created or is endorsed by a leading corporate. They go through the curriculum, they give their relevance, and then we launch it for the people. What we also see is a degree can actually give you a living, but if you acquire a skill, it can make you a fortune. So it's not just about acquiring a formal degree anymore, but employers are getting more competitive, they're getting more demanding. What they want from you is a skill set that distinguishes you, and this is all what you should be aspiring for. What we have also done is everything on edX is absolutely free for learning. edX is the world's largest non-profit e-learning platform. I was telling you about the platform features, the tools that we have available for professors, the active learning component that we have, the accessibility features that we have wherein students with special learning needs can access the platform. What we have done is we have made everything open source, which means if you have a university, if you have your own courses, you can actually use our platform, just download the source code absolutely free, create your own website just like edX, using your own courses, using your own servers, open it to your own set of learners, monetize it the way you want, do whatever you want to do with it, and it's absolutely zero cost. There is no terms and condition. In fact, various nations around the world use OpenEdX to host their national learning platform. The national learning platform of China, Jordan, Japan, Korea, Russia, Israel actually runs on OpenEdX. Yes, you heard me right. The national learning platform of Korea also runs on OpenEdX without paying anything to edX because it is absolutely free, zero cost, open source. The benefit that we get is when all of these people use our technology, they contribute back to the platform. So tomorrow when someone wants to utilize it, it becomes the most advanced learning platform in the world, and the whole world could actually benefit from this. That's it. Thank you all for having me here. I'll cut short my presentation. Thank you so much.
좋은 발표해 주신 아밋 고얄 수석님께 큰 박수 부탁드립니다. Thank you. 질문이 하나가 올라와 있어요. 너무 다행이에요. 하나가 있어서. 아까 전까지 하나도 없었는데 하나가 올라와 있네요. 아까 제가 시간이 좀 짧을 것 같아서 아밋 고얄님 잘 소개 못 드린 게 하나 있는데 아까 옥스포드 대학 다니셨다고 하셨잖아요. 학부는 IT 전공하시고 박사를 또 석사를 비즈니스를 또 전공하셨더라고요. 그래서 아무래도 오늘 이 발표에서도 좀 비즈니스 마인드가 엿보이는 그런 발표였던 것 같습니다. 지금부터 질문을 딱 하나밖에 없어가지고 지금도 늦지는 않으셨어요. 지금도 올리셔도 되고요. 또 플로어에서 바로 마이크를 대고 한국어로 하시면 동시 통역을 해주실 거예요. 근데 반드시 이제 마이크를 대고 하셔야 하고요. 그래서 그런 기회가 있다는 거 말씀을 드리고요. 그러면 첫 번째 질문은 아무래도 아밋 고얄님께 하신 것 같아요. 뭐냐면 edX를 통해서 받게 되는 학위가 해당 대학의 오프라인 학위와 완전히 동일하게 인정되는지 그게 궁금하시다는 거예요. 그래서 그 부분에 대해서 아밋 고얄님께 답변을 부탁드리겠습니다.
Absolutely.
That's a great question. Yes, the degree, the credentials that you will be getting from edX will only be coming from the top universities of the world. The degrees that you will be getting will be identical what an on-campus student is going to get. So I hope that answers your question. Not only this, in fact, if you do not even go for a degree program, which is actually expensive, from about 10,000 to 25,000 US dollars, what you could also have is complete a part of your degree online and then see if that makes sense for you, if you want to convert that program, that semester, into a fully online master's degree. What we also see is because we are working with all the major corporates around the world who use edX to upskill their people, some of them go to an extent of saying, if you have these MicroMasters or these certifications from edX, we are going to give you a guaranteed interview opportunity. So this is the kind of recognition that you get for these online courses. University will give you identical degrees, and corporates are going to give you guaranteed interview opportunities.
Yes, thank you. 혹시 예 질문해 주세요.
안녕하세요. 저는 상호작용에 대해서 관심이 있는데요. AR이나 VR, 시뮬레이션 등 그런 앱을 사용해서 교육을 할 때, 실제적인 교육을 할 때 그 학습자가 진짜 팝업창이라든가 이런 걸로도 잘 못하고 이해하기 좀 어려운 그런 장애인들, 진짜 장애인들 같은 경우에는 어떻게 그런 상호작용을 할 수 있는지 궁금하고요. 그리고 또 edX 측에서 상호작용이 궁금한 게 그 아까 포럼 토론 기능 게시판이 있고 질의응답 기능의 게시판이 있다고 하셨는데 그거 외에 좀 특이한 그런 상호작용을 하는 그쪽 개발을 하실 수 있는지 예컨대 우리 한국에서는 이거는 그냥 사설 민간 기업에서 교육을 하는 예인데요. 직접 강사 선생님께서 동영상을 제작해서 학생이 질문을 하면은 직접 동영상을 제작해서 각종 시청각 교재라든가 학생의 질문에 맞는 그런 자료를 개별화된 그런 자료를 제공을 해주십니다. 그리고 전화로 그래도 이해를 못하면 전화로 직접 목소리를 통해서 학생이 이해할 때까지 제공을 해주. 그건 이제 물론 유료죠, 비싸죠. 비싼 그런 이제 1:1 코칭을 해주시는데 그런 어떤 edX 측만의 그런 상호작용 좀 더 진화된 그런 내용이 있는지 궁금합니다.
I can cover the edX part. Do you want to go first?
No, go ahead.
Sure. Okay. So the question was how edX supports interaction. Can edX allow a Korean professor to create their courses and host it online? And can a student interact with a professor in a synchronous manner? So all of this is already happening. As I told you, the National Learning Platform of Korea runs on OpenEdX. Seoul National University is there on edX, wherein the professors are able to create their courses in Korean language and explain it to the students. A sub-question was about the discussion forums. So, for example, she asked, can a student and professor have a phone call, maybe on a paid basis? So we are talking about MOOCs. These are called massive open online courses. At any given point of time, maybe 10,000 students will be taking the same course. Now, even if 1% of them, which is 100 students, start taking one question to the professor, the rest of the students will not be able to interact or understand. That's why on purpose, we have eliminated that function. But this is a very basic technology which is anyway available. So if a professor wants to use this feature, they are most welcome to use that. On most of our courses, professors will host webinars. On webinars, students and professors will interact with each other. They decide the time, they decide the topic, and then they have a synchronous communication. So all of these features are actually available. What we have also done is, these are not just made available on edX, but we have made this entire platform and features absolutely free, which means if you are a professor, you can simply download the source code, create your own courses, use all the interactivity features absolutely free. The platform supports the most enhanced interactive tools. You will be able to embed your own labs. You will be able to embed your own WebEx sessions. You will be able to create virtualization, gamification, any way you want to interact with the students. All those features are readily available on the platform.
Thank you very much for your question. Thank you very much for your question. The question was about the ability of students who may not understand some of the formats with AR, VR, and how we handle that. I think some of the most unrecognized people in the online learning environment are the instructional designers. When I first became president at Drexel University Online, I doubled the number of instructional designers. These are the individuals that make a significant difference in terms of how students learn, whether the technology is working, helping the faculty members make sure that the technology is utilized in a way that students will understand. Students have the ability to use multiple formats for asking questions, creating Skype sessions, whatever is necessary. The format that we utilize at the university is very different than an edX format. So these are classes that have 25 students in them, that might have 35 students at the most in them. So these students receive a high level of interaction with the faculty. They can have Skype sessions. They can have again, they can have webinars, but the engagement with the professor at a top 100 private university is absolutely critical for these students. It's something that they expect of a private university, and so we use the instructional designers to make sure that any format that is utilized in the course, any type of technology that's utilized in the course, that it's accessible for the students, and simultaneously that there are a lot of instructions around that, both for the faculty member, but we also monitor the courses to make sure that if certain types of technology are not compatible, or if students are having difficulty, that we swap them out in the next course and make sure that we upgrade the course or redesign the course based upon what those methods that are most useful for the students.
네, 궁금증이 많이 해소되셨을 것 같은데요. 혹시 지금 아직 또 질문 올라온 건 없어요? 네, 마이크 전달해 주세요.
네, 제가 궁금한 거는 어떤 학교에 뭐 학위를 받는다는 게 사실 시작은 할 수 있지만 끝을 못 내는 것도 걱정이 되는 거거든요. 근데 여기 플랫폼에서 주는 게 무료로 그런 과정들을 들을 수 있다. 그리고 내가 그거를 수료하기 위해서는 비용을 지불하면 된다라고 제공되고 있어요. 그러면 만약 내가 어떤 학교에 그 정식 코스를 밟아서 내가 졸업을 한다면 어떤 교육을 받아야 되는지를 미리 알 수 있는지, 또 그렇게 알 수 있어서 우선은 무료로 교육을 받고 혹시 비용을 나중에 지불해서 예를 들어서 140학점을 들어야 되면 140학점을 내가 무료로 듣고 나중에 이거를 수료를 하고 싶어서 돈을 한 번에 나중에 지불해서도 학위를 받을 수 있는지도 되게 궁금하고요. 그리고 저희가 궁금한 게 또 아까도 수자님 말씀하셨을 때 어떤 교육이든 뭐 4, 5년이면 그건 폐기돼야 된다고 했는데 여기서 제공되는 교육이 실시간으로 이렇게 제공되는 건지 아니면 좀 오래된 교육들이 있는 건지도 조금 궁금한 사항입니다.
우선 첫 번째 질문은 두 가지로 좀 나눠볼 수 있을 것 같은데요. 온라인 러닝이다 보니까 지속성을 어떻게 확보할 것이냐. 그것도 질문이셨나요?
학교에서 정해진 코스를 내가 미리 알고 그거를 이제 내가 수강을 할 수 있도록 그게 제공되는지.
그러니까 코스 맵이 제공되는지.
네네. 그리고
네, 그것이 질문 하나.
네. 그리고 그렇게 코스 맵을 내가 따라가는데 이걸 끝낼지를 모르니까 어쨌든 비용이 들기 전에 먼저 무료로 다 이수를 하고 나중에 비용을 내서 그걸 수료로 인정받을 수 있는지.
네, 그 질문은 제가 설명 안 드려도 되겠네요. 네, 그럼 그렇게 두 가지 질문에 대해서 답을 해주시면 되겠는데요.
Sure, I'll take it. So the question was, if someone wants to take a course on edX, can they actually take the course for free and then decide whether they want to pay for it and get a certificate? Absolutely correct. We have 2,600 plus courses from 140 plus universities. About 99% of these courses, you can simply go online and start learning the entire study material absolutely free without paying anything. You look at 1 course, 2 course, 3 course, or all the courses. Whichever course you like, then you want to go for certificate and pay for it. If you don't want to get a certificate, if you just want to learn, learning is absolutely free. How learning or how these certificates combine to a degree is, a degree actually consists of semesters. Semester consists of individual courses. Similarly on edX, if you want to go for a degree, either you have the option to directly apply for a degree. If you have to apply for a degree, the eligibility criteria will be the same as decided by the university. That is, you need to have a bachelor's degree or XYZ stuff. If you want to go for just a semester of that degree first, which means if you want to take a semester of a degree first and then see if you want to go on campus and then complete the entire degree, then yes, you could again take that semester on edX. Again, you will be able to take all of the courses in that semester absolutely free. And then you can go for the certificate. So this is, I hope that answers your question.
Let me talk about a traditional university that also offers online courses. So at all 3 universities where I have served, this is a traditional university. They are traditional universities that offer online courses. The curriculum is exactly the same. So the only thing that's different is the mode of delivery. So to answer your question, the only way that you can preview a course would be through, at Drexel University, we designed a free test drive. 47% of the students had never taken an online course before. They were nervous, didn't want to fail, wanted to know whether or not they could be successful. And Drexel University is one of the most expensive universities in the United States. So they definitely don't want to fail because it's expensive. So we created a free test drive. It's a week-long free course that they can take. It allows them to get comfortable with the learning management system. Drexel uses Blackboard, but you could use any of them. You can get a preview of the syllabus for a course. You can chat with some of the professors in the course. You can chat with current students or alumni in a course to just get the students comfortable in an online space. So the students are 3 times more likely to be successful in completing their first 2 courses, which is where we usually lose students in an online environment. They're 3 times more successful after they've taken a free test drive. And it's just 1 week long. They can go in and out as they want to. And it's not compulsory. They can take it if they want to. So let me answer the next question about the course refreshes. We have a number of different formats for that. Some of it depends upon the curriculum because the subject matter changes a lot in some of the areas, particularly in healthcare. So we refresh courses every year when they're offered. We take a look at them to make sure that if there's new material that needs to be added, we do that. The curriculum is reviewed every 3 years to make sure that if there's a major refresh that's required. Instructional design is one area. Instructional design changes every year because there are all these new technologies that are coming on board that the instructional designers need to learn about, new formats, new opportunities. So those courses have to be refreshed every year to be brought up to speed. So it really depends on the subject matter. Not every course is refreshed every year, but we have to take a look at them. And so there are different time frames depending upon how quickly the subject matter is changing.
네, 마이크 전달해 주세요. 질문.
강연 잘 들었고요. 그 edX에서 그 아까 보니까 삼성이나 이제 우리나라 기업들도 이렇게 몇 개 속해서 이렇게 뭐 edX를 이용을 하는 것 같은데 제가 궁금한 거는 edX에서 어떤 그 기업만의 어떤 서비스를 어떤 맞춤형으로 제공을 하고 있는 건지 아니면 어떤 A라는 기업이 edX의 여러 가지 강의를 듣고 싶은데 그냥 개별적으로 그 기업이 개별적으로 그걸 들어가서 뭐 등록하고 강의를 들어야 되는지 아니면 edX에서 그 기업에서 원하는 어떤 뭐 예를 들어서 AI만의 강의를 좀 듣고 싶다면 그거를 좀 맞춤형으로 서비스를 제공하는지 그게 좀 궁금합니다. 아니면 그리고 또 그렇게 만약에 제공을 한다면 어떤 그 과정을 거쳐서 뭐 MOU를 맺어야 된다든지 뭐 그런 게 좀 궁금합니다. 네.
Sure. So we are not a big fan of customization per se, because most of the technologies that the companies would be requiring today, we feel we already have the courses available around it. If a corporate asks us to customize any content, technically we can do this, but the cost is going to be massive. So we try and refrain away from it and let them take the off-the-shelf product which is available out there. When we talk about a course which a business takes, it is the absolute same course which a normal B2C customer will take directly from our website. There is no difference in the course content. There is no difference in the learning experience. The difference is the enterprises, they don't want to send their employees directly to a portal because on a portal they will see thousands of courses. Companies wants to direct their employees only to specific courses which aligns with their learning roadmap. Employers want to do single sign-on, they want to pay on behalf of their learners, and most importantly, they want to track how their learners are progressing through the course, which is otherwise not available to a B2C learner. So all of these additional support features are what we provide to enterprise customers. About the cost part and everything else, perhaps we could discuss it offline. It might not be in the interest of general audience, I believe.
답변이 되셨을까요? 네. 질문 이제 하나만 마지막으로 받도록 하겠습니다.
아, 죄송합니다. 마지막
네.
그 두 분께서 학습자 빅데이터를 수집하고 있는지 궁금해요. 특히 edX 같은 경우에는 학습자 뭐 이수율이라든가 그리고 가장 인기 있는 강의 그리고 이거는 좀 오래된 강의인데 폐지를 해야 되겠다 아니면 이건 조금만 더 수정을 해서 업그레이드를 약간 시켜야 되겠다. 아까 비용 문제도 말씀하셨는데 혹시 그런 비용이 좀 들더라도 학습자 데이터 수집은 교육 민주화에 있어서 굉장히 중요한 문제이기 때문에 그런 것들을 조금 관리하고 있는지 궁금하고요. 물론 이제 그 수환 선생님께서도 아까 업그레이드 하신다고 근데 그 비용이 굉장히 많이 들 것 같아요. 3년마다 리프레시하고 그리고 1년마다 매년 그 업그레이드를 한다고 했는데 그러면 비용 문제를 간과할 수 없을 것 같은데 그런 자본 그 운영에 대해서 약간 이제 궁금해져서 다시 한번 질문 드려봤습니다.
So edX courses are about 6 to 8 weeks long, and every week requires about 4 hours of learning. So we are talking about the average course of about 30 to 40 hours. These courses actually run either on self-paced or we run them for specific months. As I told you, when a professor has released a course, at the back end, we capture every basic keystroke. What a learner is doing, what a learner is typing, is he replaying the video, how interactive is he, what is the time lag between him taking a video and taking an assessment. We capture every single element of this big data. We do not charge anything for it because this is our own data. We do not share it with anyone other than the course provider, other than the professor. So professors could then improve on it. Regarding the course relevance and making sure it is always up to date, the professors, about 50% of the courses on edX only run during specific dates. Let's say from September till November. After November, the professors will analyze the learning data. And then if required, depending on the students' feedback, the discussions, the questions, the replays, they will revise the content and they will refresh it, they will relaunch it for another 2 months. Once they run this cycle for 3 to 4 times, Then they become confident that now this course can run for good 1 year, and then they run it in the self-paced mode. So that is how we make sure that the content is always updated, fresh, and relevant.
Well, thank you for asking your questions about refreshing and quality. We've collected data on our students and make comparisons about modes of delivery, whether they're hybrid courses, blended courses, online, face-to-face, and collect a lot of data about student success. But what we also did is go back, and any of the students who stopped out and didn't come back for the online programs, because the online programs at the master's degree level, those students are 100%, for the most part, 100% online. They're working professionals coming back to school for degrees. And these students, 50% of them, their employer is paying for the cost of this education. So we want to know what happens with them. In online, for the students who take only online courses, the time frame when they normally stop out is between the first course and the second course. So the question is, what happens with that? Is that they weren't prepared or weren't ready? We didn't meet their expectations? Was there something about the quality of the course? What happened? So we've gone backwards for 3 years after students stop out, and we ask them, why did you stop out? And sometimes life happens, they have babies, they get married, they have a new job, there are other things that happen. But if you just separate out the academic responses to the questions, students say the faculty weren't prepared to utilize the technology. The course wasn't engaging enough for me. So in those areas, it's very difficult to get change with faculty unless they see the real data. So we don't categorize it and package it. We let them read the real raw comments from the students. They're painful to read sometimes, but it's how we encourage change in the courses. And yes, instructional designers are expensive, but at the end of the day, the retention and the student success is more important than the investment of that cost. We more than cover it when we increase the retention rate of our students and the satisfaction rate of the students in our courses. So I think instructional designers are the best investment that we can possibly make, and that's why we collect the data to reinforce the importance that they have, and we put a lot of money into training our faculty as well as the instructional designers. Every single month, my instructional designers have to have professional development around new subscriptions that are available, new artifacts that are available that they can potentially use in their courses. So I also significantly invest in their professional development so they can help the faculty.
Thank you. 예, 저희가 시간이 지금 5분, 6분 정도가 지체가 되었어요. 그런데 좋은 강연과 인사이트를 주신 두 분 연사분께 큰 박수를 부탁드리겠습니다. 이로써 그 트랙C 이틀간 모든 세션을 마쳤고요. 이번 세션, 이번 컨퍼런스에 외국에서 오신 분들은 또 좋은 경험과 한국에 대한 좋은 기억이 되셨으면 좋겠고, 또 지금 마지막 이 시간까지 남으신 그 여러분들의 열정의 응원을 보내드리고요. 그 다음에 앞에 있는 통역기는 꼭 자리에 두시고, 그리고 QR코드 이용해서 설문에 꼭 참여해 주시기 바랍니다. 그럼 감사합니다.